Welcome to the Hotelier's Blueprint. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the exact strategies that separate the hotels that just exist from the ones that become legendary. So let's dive right in.
I want you to think of this as your bridge from the classroom to the real, high-stakes world of hotel operations. We're going to move way beyond theory and give you the practical, hands-on blueprint that's really going to shape your career.
All right, let's get right into it. The very first step for any hotelier is to really understand the battlefield. And make no mistake, today's hospitality landscape, it is an absolute battleground for a guest's attention. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? See, attracting a guest, that's just a transaction. But earning their loyalty, making them choose to come back again and again, that's how you build an empire. That's the real goal.
So this really is the million-dollar question we're here to answer today. And look, the answer isn't some magic bullet. It's a powerful, deliberate strategy, and it's built on 3 foundational pillars.
So, first up, your brand identity. Now, this isn't just some marketing fluff, okay? This is the absolute bedrock of your hotel. If you get this wrong, everything else you try to build on top of it will eventually just crumble. You have to know who you are before you can even begin to tell the world. So what exactly is a brand identity? Well, think of it like your hotel's soul. It's the answer to the big questions. What do we really believe in? Why are we even here? And most critically, what makes us the only choice for our ideal guest? You know that last part? That's what we call your unique selling proposition or your USP. And once you figure out who you are, you have to communicate that with total consistency. I mean, every single interaction a guest has with your brand, from the post they see on Instagram to the way your staff answers the phone, it all has to feel like it's coming from the exact same place. That right there is how you build trust.
And this slide just perfectly illustrates the stakes. Over on the left, a consistent voice creates this seamless, totally trustworthy experience. But on the right, well, inconsistency just creates confusion and doubt. I mean, imagine a guest who sees a luxury message online, but then gets budget-level service at the front desk. They feel that disconnect, and that disconnect, it destroys trust. And trust is everything.
Okay, let's move on to our second pillar and see how this all builds. If your brand identity is the promise you make, then the guest experience is how you deliver on that promise. This is where your brand truly comes to life.
People don't just buy a room for the night, they buy into a story. So you have to ask yourself, what's your story? Are you a piece of local history? Is your team made up of these incredible culinary artists? Sharing these kinds of details isn't just good marketing, it's how you forge a real emotional bond that goes way beyond a simple transaction, and that is the seed of genuine loyalty. Of course, in today's visual world, that story often begins with what people see. Before a guest ever even steps foot in your lobby, you better believe they've already explored your entire hotel online. The images they see, they're not just pictures. They're the prologue to the whole experience.
Now, what's so interesting here is that all of these elements have to speak the same visual language. Your professional photos, your social media videos, even the font on your dinner menu. When it's all consistent and high quality, it sends this powerful subconscious message. We care about every single detail, and we're going to care about your stay too.
But beyond the visuals, the deepest impression is always made through personalization. In an age where everything feels mass-produced, a personal touch has become the ultimate luxury. It shows the guest they're not just a room number to you. They are seen and they are valued as an individual.
And this doesn't have to be super complicated. It could be something as simple as a handwritten welcome note that mentions their reason for traveling. Or maybe it's providing amenities you know they liked from a past stay, or recommending a local concert because you heard them express an interest in music. These small acts, they create a huge impact.
And that brings us right to our final pillar, the digital connection. Because in today's world, the guest's journey doesn't just end at checkout. Oh no, it continues online. And mastering that space is completely non-negotiable.
You have to treat guest feedback like it's a gift. This slide here shows the perfect cycle. You deliver a great stay, you listen intently to the feedback, good and bad, then you use those insights to actually improve. And guess what? The very next guest benefits. That's how excellence stops being an accident and becomes your standard operating procedure.
And when you really master this digital loop, the results just start to compound. As you can see from this chart, it creates this powerful growth engine. It expands your reach to new customers, it deepens engagement with them, and it locks in the loyalty of the guests you've already worked so hard to win.
At a bare minimum, this really requires 2 things. First, a seamless, easy-to-use website that looks and works beautifully on a phone. And second, a lively, engaged presence on the social media platforms where your target guests are actually spending their time. Think of it as your digital front door.
So let's recap. We've laid out the 3 pillars: a powerful identity, an unforgettable experience, and a masterful digital connection. Now, let's bring this all together into a simple, actionable blueprint that you can use as a leader.
You know, if you remember nothing else from our time together today, please remember this. It is the core principle. Your brand makes a promise of quality or comfort or maybe adventure. Every single aspect of that guest experience is your chance to prove that your promise is true.
And ultimately, all of these complex systems, all these strategies and pillars, they all boil down to this one singular goal. For every guest that walks through your door, your one mission is to create one unforgettable experience. Just one. Because that one experience is what they will remember, it's what they will share with their friends, and it's what will bring them back.
And that brings me to my final thought for you. As you step into your future roles as leaders, I want you to look at this blueprint. Identity, experience, digital connection. Which one of those pillars will you build first? Thank you.